Welcome to the Goodyear City Council meeting. We're excited to have you be a part of this important public process. Tonight, you will have the opportunity to address City Council on both non-agenda and agenda items. The agendas and the speaker request cards are located on the tables outside of council chambers. You must fill out a speaker card in order to address the City Council. Please hand in your completed card to the City Clerk before the start of the meeting. If the meeting has already begun, please hand it to any city staff. You may also check the "I do not wish to speak" option on the card. This allows you to still voice your opinion on an item on the record without having to speak. Public comment on a non-agenda item will take place during the citizen comment portion of the evening. These are items that don't appear on tonight's formal agenda. The City Clerk will call your name when it's time for you to speak. At that time, please approach the podium and state your name for the record. We ask that you speak clearly into the microphone. You'll have a maximum of 3 minutes, and there is a timer visible from the podium. When the light changes from green to yellow, your time is coming to an end. When the light turns red, your time is up. Note that you may also choose not to speak if other speakers before you have said what you wanted to say. Shouting, cheering, and loud noises will not be tolerated, and violators may be removed for disrupting the meeting. Goodyear City Council meetings stream live on Facebook and YouTube, and online at goodyearaz.gov. Thank you for your participation in tonight's meeting.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting on the 10th of February, 2020. This is a regular meeting. It's February 10th, but everybody is here, so. Oh, I didn't see you. I thought you slipped down. All right. So we'll go on to the communications. We will receive a preview on the 20. Oh, the cheapers, creepers.
Sorry.
She's excited.
So I'm going to ask you to please join Vice Mayor Stipp in the Pledge of Allegiance and the Invocation. You can't get through a meeting, can I?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gracious God, from whom all good proceeds, grant us, your humble servants, holy inspiration, that we may set our minds on the things that are right, and through your merciful guiding, that we are able to accomplish them. We praise and thank you, Lord, that you have made yourself known to us and have been active in our lives. We thank you for the many blessings that we have as a city and individually. We could not have done it alone. We ask that you lead us now in lives of service and obedience to fulfill your will. Please be with the men and women serving our city, our state, and our nation, both here and abroad. Guide and protect them as they protect us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And to go along with that, I certainly regret forgetting the pledge, which is something I've stood up for how many years as a military wife? And of course, I think God will forgive me. So we're going to the communication items. We will receive a preview on the 2020 spring training. And we have John Brown, ballpark coordinator, business coordinator, presenting.
Mayor and Council, thank you for having me. I am John Brown. I'm pitch hitting for Bruce Kessman tonight. He's out with an illness, but I am the Business Development Coordinator for Goodyear Ballpark, and we are less than 2 weeks away from opening day. So really exciting things going on. Opening day is February 22nd. The Indians and Reds will play each other on opening day. Gates open at 11:30 a.m. with first pitch scheduled for 1:05 p.m. This season will consist of a lot of very cool giveaways that we'll do. We're bringing back the popular Kids Day Sundays, where the first 250 kids at our games receive a giveaway item from each of the teams. And then we have giveaways on each Friday, with two of those being Sonny Gray bobblehead and the Shane Bieber bobblehead. So both of those pitchers are going to be very instrumental in both the Reds and Indians pitching staff. And Shane Bieber was actually the All-Star Game MVP last season. So he's a good young player who has a lot of potential. On top of that, we're doing a sunglass giveaway and a drawstring bag giveaway on each Friday. And then our night games, which we have 6 of, will feature our popular happy hour. We will have a true happy hour this season. Gates will open at 4:30, and the happy hour will take place 4:30 to 5:30 with food and drink specials. We have a lot of new things in 2020. One of the biggest and most noticeable will be our 26-foot by 52-foot full digital video board. So I think that's going to be something that you will not be able to miss this season when you come out to the ballpark. I know some people have driven past the stadium and have seen it up and illuminated, but it will be a full digital scoreboard and really enhance the user experience at the ballpark. We have a improved layout with enhanced concession stands on the first base side. So we poured a concrete slab that will help alleviate some of the pinch points in the stadium and help create a more friendly fan experience when they go and purchase things from some of our concession carts. We have the shortstop, which is a grab-and-go section, which is going to be near the center field gate that is new this year. And then everyone's favorite, the food items. We have waffle fries. You can take your chance to eat a 64-ounce souvenir helmet nacho. New burgers at our concession carts. And then the carne asada taco will be something that you'll want to try this season. The fan experience is very important to us, and we're continuing with some of the instrumental things that we've done last season. The first being Kids on-field experience, which will begin every Saturday beginning February 29th. The first 50 kids will get a chance to actually go onto the field and get autographs from the Indians and Reds players. Our Kids Day Sundays, as I mentioned before, are very popular. Senior Stroll. We have player and broadcast meet and greets after the game at our stadium. The batting practice fan zone at each of the Indians and Reds facilities. We have on-field workouts. And then, of course, our military and veterans, to show appreciation for them, we have ticket discounts for them. So the season's almost here, and let's play ball.
Sounds very exciting. Any comments from council? Let's get a hand of applause for that. Now is the time for citizens who would like to address the city council on any non-agenda item within the jurisdiction of the city council. Do we have any cards?
No, Mayor.
No. Then let's go on to this consent agenda. Will the city clerk please read consent agenda items 2 through 6 by title only?
Number 2, approval of minutes. Number 3, approve the final plat for Pradera Phase 2B, subject to stipulations. Number 4, authorize the execution of utility easement associated with well site 24. Number 5, accept the dedication of a public utility sidewalk and access easement from NNP3, Estrella Mountain Ranch LLC, a Delaware limited liability company, required for the development of EMR parcel 9.31. Number 6, accept the dedication of a temporary emergency access easement from AV Homes of Arizona LLC, an Arizona limited liability company for Cantamia parcel 35.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second to approve items 2 through 6? Do I hear that motion?
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Stiff and a second from Councilman Hampton. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Councilmember Kano?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
The motion carries.
We're going to go on to the public hearing for Hancock Communities at Canyon Trails. PAD amendment has been canceled and will be reverted to advertise for the future. So let's go down to the business. I'd like to remind council to wait for the motion and a second before discussion. The next 2 items are related, and Fire Chief Paul Luisi is here to give us the project overview. Deputy Public Works Director Christine Smith will present the information regarding the Weston Avenue. Is that the second one? It's not numbered. Okay, we're going to go to Luisi. So this is 8A. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. At the May 20th, 2019 council meeting, you had directed us to transfer the former city, fire station to the City of Goodyear Firefighter Charities Group. The next two presentations tonight will be the first steps to help us get those goals accomplished. So first, Christine Smith, will take you through the technical steps that are required to transfer the property and also the budget transfer that is needed. Then Linda Beals will take you through the minor land division that needs to occur to split apart the property. Later this month, we anticipate bringing back a letter of intent before council to help complete this project. I'll be here for any questions, but I'd like to present Christine Smith.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Christine Smith, the Deputy Director for Public Works, and I'm here with the exciting news that we're moving forward with the Western Avenue property. As Chief Louisi mentioned, we were before Council to talk about the disposition of these properties, and in May, we received direction to go ahead and dispose these properties. So staff has been working to take the steps necessary to prepare the properties for sale. So just as a quick overview, if you recall, we're looking at 3 parcels. We're going to convert those to 2 parcels. And the idea and direction provided by council was to provide the former fire station to the firefighters' charities, and we are to sell the remaining property. So some of the unique challenges with this property is, as you can see, the property lines intersected buildings. These buildings were built over a period of time, and so we have to do quite a few corrections with this property in order to separate them and sell them. So with all the work that's been taken place, we are going to be proposing that 2 lots be created out of the 3. In order to do this, we need to establish new setbacks for the properties. And we also need to do some physical changes to the property, including adjusting some electrical services and removing an existing patio. So here's a close-up of this. So this electrical service is right behind the old fire station. So this cabinet will be replaced, which means disconnecting, pulling that out, building a new cabinet and installing it. And this service will then allow additional meters to be put in to service the other buildings and split the service, which has not happened previously. The other work that needs to be done, you can see here from Litchfield, there's this patio right here that's on the north side of the fire station. This is another view of that patio. We need to remove that patio in order to comply with setback requirements. To move forward with those changes, we are asking for a budget transfer of $119,900, and this money will allow us to complete the electrical work, the patio demolition and restoration of that area, as well as provide for appraisal and marketing fees, and a little contingency, because as you know, whenever you touch old buildings, you have quite a few unknowns. So hopefully we won't have to tap into it, but it's important to recognize that potential right now. So with that, we're recommending the transfer, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Can I have a motion, a second, to approve the budget transfer to reduce the FY 2020 one-time general fund budget for the Van Buren Street Improvement Project, Saraville to Yuma, by $293,500, and to use the $119,900 of those savings to fund and create a new Western Avenue property capital improvement program project. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Campbell and a second from Councilman Kano. Open for council discussion. Councilman Loretano.
I'm very glad we're moving forward with this because I really wanted to save those buildings, so I'm very excited. And that this will save our history. As we move into the future, we've got to remember our past. So,
Wonderful.
as Bill just said earlier.
Councilman Hampton?
No, I also agree. I think it's very great that we're moving forward with this as well. I had a question around the real estate fees. Is that for the real estate fees for giving to the fire union? Or is that a separate real estate fee?
It's number 3.
It is associated with Linda's work, which is part of the next steps.
A part of the next step. It's also part of the selling of was it lot 1?
Right.
Okay.
We need appraisal. We needed to perform an appraisal before we market those. We also have, there'll be some amounts of fees to list the property, to put it out on the market. So
Okay.
we do have to have some money to do that, make sure we get it out there in the marketplace.
That's understandable. I didn't know if it was related to the transferring of this property to that, or it was for the new property that needs to be. I didn't see why we would need it for this property. So that's what I was curious about.
Right.
But other than that, I definitely think it's going to be a great use. I know their neighbors down there are pretty excited to have them there as well. And I think it'll be a great use and a great saving of that history down there. And a good public use. So thank you.
Councilman Campbell?
Linda, this may be for you. So is lot 1, is that what you're going to address later this evening? Because if you are, then I'm not going to ask my question now. Lot 1.
Lot 1, as far as
That's the one we're going to sell.
Yes. Right.
Lot 2,
correct.
we're giving to the fire department.
Correct.
All right.
It will be transferring it, yes.
Are we stipulating any use for the building? Does this come back to us before it's actually transferred to them? Oh, thanks, Chief. Someone asked me if it was
Okay, I'm trying to make sure I understand the
Yeah.
question, that's all.
Yes, through the letter of intent, that will be brought back before council.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Any other?
Okay, so the 119 is just to split the lots, take the electrical box away, put a new electrical box in, get an appraisal on the property we are going to sell, and have a little money left over to put it in the newspaper so we can sell it.
Yes, in addition to the patio demolition and
that's
restoration
right.
of that area.
Right, so then the fire garage, it'll be the garage in the next building will be what we're transferring over to fire, right?
Yes, it's a very small building that's attached to it.
Okay, great. Just wanted to know. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Pasillo?
Just a quick question on the non-fire one. When we sell that building, those buildings, that other lot, are we going to sell as is, just in case there's anything in there that's hidden that possibly could be a hazard type of thing?
Yeah, we will be selling them as is, and we'll provide the environmental reports that we do have and have had done on the property. But similar to what we did on the property along Western Avenue, it was sold as is.
Okay, I just want to make sure we don't get possibly sued for something that gets uncovered in those buildings. So they will know all what the environmental report is when they buy it, and they're going to be buying it as is, correct?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? All right, let's vote on this. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item of business is consider approving the subdivision and establishment of easements and the right-of-way of a city-owned property generally located north of intersection of Litchfield Road and Western Avenue, commonly known as the Western Avenue Properties. Again, the real estate coordinator, Linda Beals, will be presenting.
Good morning, good afternoon, or evening. Let's get there right. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Linda Beals. I am the real estate coordinator here with the City of Goodyear. And as noted, what I'm presenting tonight is the minor land division for the Western Avenue properties located northeast of Litchfield Road and Western Avenue. And I'm showing you a similar aerial to what you've seen. The area we're working through, what we have is to be approved tonight is the minor land division. The reason that we're presenting this as a minor land division is because it's a little less complex than we would normally see on a plat in light of the fact that we have two lots and a tract. The two lots are as noted. This is Lot 2, the item that we're showing for the original fire station to be transferred. The remainder is Lot 1. And then there's a small tract up in the north west corner of the parcel that's needed for a roadway. The reason, again, that we're doing a minor land division is with only 2 lots, we wouldn't typically utilize a plat for that. You don't see a lot of minor land divisions, and the reason coming to you in front to the council is because minor land divisions are typically handled administratively by development services. The reason that this one is different is because of 2 things. One, it's a city property, and that does need council approval when it's city property being divided up by a minor land division. The other is that because these are existing buildings, and as noted by Christine, there are a number of easements that are needed because we have utilities running from parcel to parcel. Because the most obvious access, we want to have cross access because the drive entries are very small and narrow compared to what we would see on most newer developments. So we want to make sure that when a UPS truck comes in that he doesn't have to do all these strange maneuvers to get in and out. So for both parcels. So we want to make sure there's cross access easements available. We want to make sure that, like I say, the utilities can run from parcel to parcel. We want to make sure that the public utility easements are in place for the future. A lot of this wasn't necessary because we owned all the properties and we were able to manage those. But once we transfer them to somebody else, we need to make sure those items are in place. Any type of declaration or dedication for easements does need council approval. So that's the reason why we're coming to you tonight with this minor land division, and we're asking for your approval this evening on that.
Thank you very much. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Can I have a motion and a second to approve the minor land division of properties on Pico Drive, which properties are commonly known as Western Avenue properties, and the dedication included therein and authorize the mayor or her designee to execute the minor land division on behalf of the city of Goodyear, authorizing the subdivision of the city property, granting the easements, declaring the right-of-way reflected in the minor land division. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Basilio, second from Vice Mayor Stiff. Open for council discussion. No discussion? All right, let's vote. Did you have something?
Yeah, I got
Councilman Hampton.
So, I mean, I agree with the land division, and then now to this point, then we're going to go and sell it at this point. After this meeting, you're going to go execute, go put it in the paper, or do whatever you need to do for marketing.
We do need to have, if you're talking about parcel lot 1, we will be ordering an appraisal. From at that point, then we will work toward advertising it. We'll get a sign put out there. We did very similarly out on Western Avenue, so we will look at, again, advertising that and getting it out in all of the typical commercial advertising, which is a little different than residential, but we'll look at getting it out there in the systems, LoopNet, and CoStar, and those type of typical places where commercial users tend to look, but we'll also get a sign out there. We've actually already ordered and have the sign, so we'll be able to put that out there quickly.
Yeah.
But we'll want to set a base price, and that base price will be determined by the appraisal.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. This is the last time we're going to see it come to us before it gets potentially sold. That's I was just curious if that was a true
As to
statement.
lot 1.
To lot 1. Yeah.
Lot
yeah, lot
2
2 is
will
already
be back
gone.
to you with the LOI.
What?
Oh, yeah, something that I didn't mention is that there is also time needed to do the work that needs to be done out there, but we should be able to do that at the same time, concurrently. We should be able to do the work while I start working on the appraisal, so
Okay.
it'll kind of...
Yeah, I was just curious if there's anything else that would come before. So thank you.
Yeah, I got a question real quick. Just a minute.
Wally?
Are we doing the actual demolition of the patio, and are we, I say we, is the city going to actually move the electrical box, or are we hiring someone to do it? So,
Council member, what we are trying to do is we'll be hiring a contractor, Coatman Electric, to do the separation of the electrical services. And also we'll be hiring a firm by the name of JRM Environmental, whose expertise is to do demolitions like this. They are also environmental experts on lead abatement. And we have found evidence of lead in the paint of this part of the patio that we'll be demolishing. So we'll be hiring these firms to do that. And also there is a very involved process between Coatman Electric as well as APS, who is our electrical services provider, and the City of Goodyear Engineering Department, where we coordinate some of the reviews. So these activities will take few months. We are trying to rush it, but we are anticipating this to happen by July. But in case some of our activities take a little longer time because of so many interdependencies between different entities involved, we might go a few months longer, but it will take us few months to get all these activities accomplished.
yeah, well, we're not asking you to rush it. I'm not asking you to rush it. We've been talking about this property for 2 years, and we've not done anything, so there is no rush. But what I wanted to know was if we were actually doing it, or if we were going to have to contract it out, and if we've allowed enough money, because the contract, and sometimes it's more than what we had anticipated. My next question is, are we going to use the same appraisal that we used for the other property? Because I was very suspect when he came back with the appraisal that he gave us.
I can speak to the first part, that we have had very detailed discussions with the contractors who will be providing us the service, including getting them to refresh our quotes as recently as the last couple of weeks. So we are not anticipating their prices to go up beyond this. But as Christine mentioned earlier, we do have a healthy amount of contingency just in case we find some surprises, because when you touch a building this old, then sometimes surprises can come up. But we believe that with a healthy contingency built in, we are more than prepared to handle with this budget transfer of $119,900.
Okay, and we're not rebuilding the building at all. We're just taking down the electrical box only and the patio only, nothing else.
These are the only two pieces we are going to be actually working on.
Okay, perfect.
Any other questions? All right, let's vote on it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We're down to 10, the last item on business, to consider approving the court security improvements. Court Administrator Crystal Whalen and the CIP Manager Walt Kinsler will present. Welcome.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. It is my pleasure to present to you the status and next steps regarding the court security improvements alongside Walt, our CIP manager. As Judge Galindo alluded to, we are in the pre-construction phase, but I will back up and just give some prior information how we got here. So in 2017, the Chief Justice of the Arizona Supreme Court administered Supreme Court Administrative Order 2017-15, which mandated court security improvements or standards statewide for the state of Arizona, and implemented a 3-year phased implementation. So you can see that we are in fiscal year 20, we are implementing now the standards for year 2 and year 3, which pertains to the facility, our equipment, court security officer training, and entry race screening. So in order to get us to the current CIP project for fiscal year 20, we did conduct a CIP-funded security study in fiscal year 19, which helped us fully scope and identify our needed improvements for the current project, which is in the amount of $1,384,000. So we are taking a 2-phase approach for our project, starting the project in March of this year and concluding in August of the year. The reason that we did this is so we could work with all of the facility users, the court, prosecutor's office, and obviously City Council and Planning and Zoning. The judge is extremely supportive of this project, and so we're afforded the opportunity to be flexible with our docket, but to also work with the council's scheduled summer break. Some of the exterior projects will include new surveillance cameras, window coverings, new masonry, exterior bollards, a sally port, and secured parking for staff. And we have an image here just to show you. It is somewhat of a small map. Hopefully you can see it well, but the red arrows do indicate the north and south entrances. This is the courthouse here. This is Building D behind us. So it would create secured entry and exit along with the sally port on the north side of the facility. Interior projects will include an upgrade to surveillance equipment, new customer service windows that meet security standards, such as ballistic materials, enhancements to the courtroom benches, a new secured entryway with an x-ray machine, renovation of our in-custody cells, and a new inmate holding area in what we call Courtroom 2, which is what you are facing, and removable barriers in the courtroom. And what that means here, and I was mentioning this to you, Councilmember Loretano, she was asking, where does our jury sit? So you can see here, this would create behind me when the partition is up, a makeshift juror box, but it would look much more professional than what we've been currently doing, which is moving or rolling that green top piece of furniture in the back. So we can finally say goodbye to that, have what is often referred to as the bar, but these would be removable safety barriers, and upgrading Courtroom 2's bench to have a ADA compliant witness stand, and just enhancing, this is our full use courtroom, so it would really make it more built for purpose. The project, upon completion of all designated project items, we would be in full compliance with these security mandates, which is wonderful. As Judge Galindo mentioned, we like to achieve. So we are very much looking forward to the completion of this project. And let me make sure I don't leave out, because I did my notes and then I didn't use them. That sums up my part. I have Walt here to help explain from the engineering standpoint where this project stands before I give my closing.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. My name is Walt Kinsler. I am the CIP manager for the City of Goodyear, and I work in the engineering department. Over the last 5 months, I've had the privilege of working as the project manager with a really dynamic team made up of Crystal, Judge Galindo, the architect, and we had a contractor on our team. I'm going to go over just briefly the project status, and then I'll outline our steps as we move forward. Currently, we have a construction cost proposal from our contractor that includes contingencies, and it is within budget. We have our architect of record under contract to perform construction administration duties. We're working closely with our information technology folks, as well as our procurement specialist on procuring the x-ray machine for the front of the entrance, as well as some surveillance equipment and furniture for the building. And lastly, we have our building safety and our civil engineering permits available and ready to be picked up. So steps moving forward. With approval tonight of our spending authority, we are prepared to issue a notice to proceed to our contractor. The end of March, this is a 5-month construction schedule. The project will be completed the end of August, on time and in budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any speaker cards? You have another continuation?
Oh, I guess just in closing, thank you, Walt. Given this information that is currently budgeted in scope on within the CIP projects for the year, we would just ask for council's authority for full spending authority for the $1.384 million.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Can I have a motion a second to approve the expenditure authority up to $1,384,000 for fees and costs for completion of the Court Security Improvement Capital Improvement Project for 2020. Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Stipp and a second from Councilman Loretano. Open for council discussion. No discussion? All right, let's vote on this. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations on that.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
we're near the end. Does council have any comments, commendation, current events, requests? Councilman Kano?
Last week, I had the opportunity to attend the Westmark Forum on Class A office space investment in the West Valley, and Sintra Sandstrom and Mike Olson from Globe hosted that and certainly made a very convincing argument for Class A office space. Goodyear was one of 6 cities that made a pitch to all the investors there. Julie, you did a wonderful job, and I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of interest in that.
Next. All right, I believe it's over to you, City Manager.
Thank you. I'm pleased to introduce to Mayor and Council our new Governmental Relations Manager. So if I can ask Jenna Crecchio to stand, can stand in place. Jenna's experience in state government began with the Arizona Legislative Internship Program, and she was then promoted to be a research analyst and worked almost 4 years for the Arizona House of Representatives. During this time, she served the chief staff member on a number of committees, including government, elections, county, and municipal affairs. For the last 4 years, Jenna has served as Peoria's Intergovernmental Affairs Coordinator. She has a master's degree in public administration from ASU, a bachelor's degree in journalism and Spanish from NAU. She's also a certified elections officer. She comes to us with a great track record, and I'd just like to welcome Jenna to the city of Goodyear. And then I also wanted to mention that city offices will be closed for President's Day on Monday, February 17th. Emergency fire, police, and sanitation services will operate as normal. City offices will reopen 8 a.m. Tuesday, February 18th. Thank you.
Thank you. The next meeting will be a work session on February 24th at 5 p.m. following a regular meeting. No further business. This meeting is adjourned.